Here is something that no politician wants to hear. The day that was supposed to be a celebration turned into the most uncomfortable reminder of what happens when a government stops listening. August 10th, 2026 was Jharkhand Chief Minister Hemant Soren's birthday, and instead of cake and garlands, what he got was thousands of students standing outside his assembly, demanding answers he has been avoiding for weeks. But before we get into what happened that Monday morning in Ranchi, let us zoom out for a second, because this story is not really about one protest in one state on one day. This story is about something much bigger. It is about how broken the public exam system in India has become, how desperate young people are getting, and how political parties on both sides of the fence have turned student suffering into a scoring opportunity. Let us set the scene properly. Since July 25th, unemployed youth and students in Jharkhand have been sitting at the Jaipal Singh Munda Stadium in Ranchi, demanding justice over alleged irregularities and paper leaks in JPSC and JSSC examinations. These are not small exams. These are the gateway exams for government jobs in Jharkhand. For lakhs of young people who have spent years preparing, sometimes 4 or 5 years sitting at home studying, these exams represent their only real shot at a stable future. When those exams get leaked, when people with money and connections buy their way through, the students who played by the rules are left with nothing, not even the dignity of a fair fight. The movement crossed 17 days. Talks with the Hemant Soren government happened twice. Both times they collapsed. Why? Because the students have one core demand that the government simply refuses to meet: a CBI inquiry into the irregularities. The government offered a CID inquiry, made some arrests, said it was handling things. But the students know that internal state investigations can be managed, softened, buried. A CBI inquiry is different. It has federal teeth, and that is exactly why the government does not want it. When negotiations fail that many times, when a government keeps offering just enough to seem responsive but never enough to actually solve anything, at some point, the people on the street stop believing that the table is the right place to be. So on the morning of August 10th at 9:30 a.m., the students started marching toward the Jharkhand Vidhan Sabha. What followed was the kind of scene that has become almost familiar in India this year: water cannons, tear gas, barricades made of razor wire that one witness compared to a Pakistan border checkpoint, and eventually lathi charges. Students with injuries on their backs and arms and legs caught on camera telling a story that no press release from the police can rewrite. Now here is what actually deserves attention. The students did not break. That is the detail that tends to get buried in the drama of the visuals. Young men and women walked into water cannon blasts and started dancing. Some reportedly pulled out soap and shampoo from their bags and joked about getting a free bath. There is a kind of fearless energy in that image that is actually striking if you think about it. These are not people who have lost control. These are people who have decided they have nothing left to lose by pressing forward. They crossed the barricades. They reached the assembly premises. Some took selfies. And then the lathis came. The police spokesperson later said that the force was used only for crowd control, that officers had warned students repeatedly not to advance, and that a stampede situation had to be prevented. Maybe some of that is true, but the images do not entirely support the framing of restrained, reluctant force. The injuries are real. The question of who gave the order and at what threshold will matter going forward. Now let us talk about the face of this movement. Devendra Nath Mahato, 33 years old, from a village in the Rahe block of Ranchi district. He did his post-graduation from Dr. Shama Prasad Mukherjee University. He has been active in student movements since 2015. He led a previous JPSC agitation years ago, and during that fight, he lost his mother. He spoke about it in an interview with Indian Express, how she passed away while he was out fighting for student rights. He came to the August 10th Garao on a stretcher, on the ninth day of a hunger strike. That kind of commitment is not political theater. That is something else entirely. Now let us get to the part of this story that is genuinely uncomfortable for everyone with a political flag. Jharkhand is ruled by a JMM Congress coalition. BJP is in the opposition. This is the complete reverse of the political setup in Delhi, where the central government is BJP and Congress is the opposition. A few weeks ago, when students marched to Parliament in Delhi at Jantar Mantar, Delhi police, which reports to the Central Home Ministry under Amit Shah, used lathi charges, pellet guns, and deployed personnel without nameplates and without uniforms. The opposition, including Congress and Rahul Gandhi, condemned it loudly and brought Parliament to a standstill, demanding accountability from the Home Minister. Now in Jharkhand, the state police, under a government that Congress is part of, has used lathi charges, tear gas, and water cannons on students with similar demands. BJP leaders lined up immediately to condemn it. Leader of opposition Babulal Marandi led a demonstration outside Hemant Soren's residence and was arrested. BJP MP Tejasvi Surya put out a condemnation. The party machinery went into full spin mode. Here's the thing, though. Every word of condemnation from the BJP is correct. The lathi charge in Jharkhand deserves to be condemned. Students exercising their democratic right to protest deserve protection, not brutalization. That is true, but it becomes hollow the moment you ask, where were these same voices 3 weeks ago when it was Delhi police doing the same thing, or worse, to a different set of students marching to a different legislature? And Rahul Gandhi, to his credit, did condemn the Jharkhand lathi charge quickly. His statement was clear. Peaceful protests must not be attacked, regardless of which government is in power. That is the correct position. But Congress still has a direct stake in the Jharkhand government's response. You cannot fully separate yourself from that. This mirrored hypocrisy. Delhi versus Ranchi, BJP versus Congress, students caught in the middle of both, is exactly why a generation of young Indians is growing deeply disillusioned with all political parties simultaneously. And then there is the media angle that cannot be ignored. The Delhi protest, which unfolded outside Parliament, received minimal coverage from several large TV news organizations. Jharkhand, where the state government includes Congress and BJP is the opposition, got far more airtime from the same networks. The political arithmetic of that coverage pattern is not subtle. When the government you support is being embarrassed, you look away. When the government your rivals run is under pressure, you zoom in. Students can see this. Everyone can see this. There is one more detail from August 10th that is deeply troubling and needs to be mentioned carefully. A journalist on the ground reportedly questioned occupants of a vehicle and was told that multiple vehicles had been sent from Bengal to bring people to the protest, allegedly funded by a political party. If that account is accurate and verifiable, it would be a serious issue. Manufactured numbers at a genuine student protest undermine the legitimacy of the entire movement and harm the very students who are fighting with real grievances. It also raises questions about who benefits most from the chaos. The real students of Jharkhand, the ones sitting in that stadium since July 25th, the ones who traveled from every corner of the state, the ones with JPSC rejection letters and years of wasted preparation behind them. They deserve better than to have their movement hijacked by political logistics operations from a neighboring state. August 15th is just days away. India will celebrate 79 years of independence, and in that same August, students in Jharkhand, in Delhi, and across the country are standing up and asking a very basic question. What exactly is the point of independence if the exam that was supposed to give you a fair chance at a government job gets leaked before you even sit for it? That question deserves a real answer, not a lathi, not a water cannon, not a CID inquiry that goes nowhere. A real answer. The movement in Jharkhand is not over. Devendra Nath Mahato made that clear from his stretcher. The students made that clear from the assembly premises. This story has more chapters left.